we've all picked cards already. I got Miss Henderson.
I got Mr. Skeleton.
And then you guys, I gave you a card because in place of grade for today, and you guys had Mr. Girling, who was a DT teacher?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was like him and Mr. Juice, though. They were like a little duo.
They didn't care. Girling
they
really didn't care.
They really didn't.
Like, I can't remember who we had in year 7. We had to make a board game. So
I remember that.
You had to like custom make a board game.
We did that as well.
I think it was like this classic every year in year 7 you'd make a board game. My boy Shiv, shout out Shiv, he made legitimately a like professional level board game.
Really?
He was so sick at DT. Like, I remember bringing out my board game and being like, look at this. If I just see his, I'm like, how have you made this? It's like professional level. He was just such a sick guy. Shout out Shiv.
Like not even laminated, but whatever the next level is.
It was so sick. It was like, I can't really remember, but I just remember looking over at it and being like, how have you made this? He was the guy at school where in some lessons we'd sit next to each other and I'd look over at his work and I'm like, bro, I wish I was doing that. Like, I wish my handwriting was that sick. I wish my notes looked
Apparently,
like that.
bad handwriting is a sign of genius, though.
Really?
Apparently.
He's the exception.
Really?
Well, actually, so he had really nice handwriting, very unique style. It was like his aesthetic. And then my boy Lucas, shout out Bongos, he had handwriting
Your boys' nicknames are so funny.
Yeah, we've got Grubb'em.
Grubb'em.
That's Shiv, yeah. And then we've got Bongos, aka Bucas, aka Lucas. His handwriting genuinely is like impossible to read. Like, teachers would be like, please, you got the question right. And I only know that it's right because I know your handwriting. But in the exam, for the love of God, please. Like, I remember him showing me, he's like, bro, surely this is an X, right? You know when you have to do the X with like the two curved, like, kind of like the Chanel logo, yeah? It literally looked like he'd just written 11. They were so far apart, and I'm like, bro, I'm your boy, but like this is not X. Like, whatever you've written is not X. But
that's so joke.
yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. What was your favorite subject at school, and was it music?
So you would think it was music. I did like music, but for me, and it actually goes to, so I play guitar, but I used to do guitar lessons when I was at school. And for a little bit at the start, I used to love my guitar teacher. He was a proper sick guy. At the start, my family and I think my music teacher wanted me to start doing grades. So I started doing grades. And I was like, it was just not fun and it wasn't fulfilling and I wasn't learning that much. It was like very basic. I'd already learned all that stuff previously. And I think, I ended up just with my guitar teacher just coming in and being like, I want to play Come As You Are by Nirvana, or I want to play America by Razorlight, and him just teaching me that on the spot. But similar to music as a class, I think that where I align with music isn't with the classic like theory and with learning about classical music and choir and our head of music, who is an amazing person, Mr. Toyn, he'll be in here somewhere.
Oh yeah, Mr. Toyn, man, like.
Sick guy. But there were no double bassists in the band.
Okay.
So he got me to go like this on the keyboard and show my range, and he was like, oh, double bass.
Okay.
And I had like 4 double bass lessons at his sort of request, and I hated it, obviously.
Okay.
And I just think that that's kind of where it kind of went, really. Like, I didn't want to take it any further past GCSE. I got an A star, which is good.
And
but like, it was because of I like made up for the exam with like really good coursework or like being in the studio making a tune.
Yeah.
But I didn't fall, and I still don't know all the tonics and the theory. I'm just a gut feeling person.
Yeah, okay.
So to answer your question, art.
Art was your favorite subject?
Definitely.
Interesting. Do you think that, so where did the music kind of thing come from then? Like, where was that passion just kind of always been in you? Like that gut feeling of like, I like to create, I like to, because as long as I can remember, I've always known you as like musically gifted. Like, it just seems to like,
oh, thanks, bro.
It seems to like naturally pour out of you. Like, I remember when you'd come around to ours like 13, 14 years ago, and like,
which is wild.
Yeah, you and Gray just like in his room, just like cooking up beats, and I'm like, where does it? It seems like it's always been there, like maybe it's just like a latent part of you that's kind of naturally been there, but like, do you feel like it's always been there, or has it been something where you're like, I like it and I want to just work at it to get to this stage?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think definitely it's always naturally been there. I think my background with my family has obviously affected a lot. I've been around bands a lot. My dad was in quite a successful band in the 80s, and he showed me some amazing music. He introduced me at a very young age to like Eminem, 50 Cent, Kanye West,
Damn, really?
Nirvana,
That's
like
mad.
all the bands and stuff. Like those, that was his bag. There's, to give context, he was in like a more sort of rocky band. He played guitar, so he always had fed me those, and I was always around listening to like old like Steely Dan and really like just stuff he loved, basically Joni Mitchell or John Mayer or whatever. But he also introduced me to all these sick rappers as well. I can remember the first time he played me College Dropout.
No way.
Yeah, we were in the car going over in Richmond Park, and you know that bit when you go over the hill and you go down and you're coming towards London, it's like Roehampton's there. And I remember listening to, I think it was Spaceship. Yeah.
And just being like, this is sick. Like,
I was just like, what is this? And
like,
it just completely changed it for me. And then during school, I was always really into guitar music and a bit of rap, but not really. I was much more, I think it's like a product of who you're around as well. Because Sam Hasler Bleep was there. Sam Bleep Bleep. Or Bleep Bleep Bleep.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. I think.
Bleep Bleep Bleep.
Mr. Bleep, yeah.
Mr. Bleep. He was heavy into it. His older brother was in a sick band as well. So we started a band together. We were called The Memos.
The Memo, it's not a bad name, you know.
Not a bad name. We did like gig nights and stuff like that. And I think eventually down the line, I knew Grade from earlier, but I met him and Fenton. Not met them, but got closer to them, and they were really into hip hop. And then that's where that kind of stemmed from. And then I just started making beats with them. I think you asked the question about sort of, was it always there and gut feeling? I remember there was a time when I used to produce and I'd have all my boys back for like afters in the studio. It'd be like, we'd be at the Ton in Kingston all night. It'd be like 1 a.m, let's everyone go back to the studio. And I used to play stuff, and I play stuff on the spot and try and work out where the next note were gonna go. I remember my boy was so confused as to how I could guess what would sound good.
Yeah.
He was so confused.
That's kind of like, that's how I feel. Like, in music lessons, it never made sense to me. Like, I could hear when something sounds good, but then when you ask me to create something, I feel like I would just have to like copy something that I've heard. I couldn't create it naturally myself.
Yeah.
And so when like a couple of my close boys, they're all quite musically talented. Like 2 of them played saxophone, like drums, piano. They're like really good at the theory side of things. So I remember being in music class and just like, we have to like compose something. Do you remember like Philip Glass and like all of them, man? We like listen to it and it's like make something in the sound or the style of, and I'm like, I just genuinely don't even know like where to begin. I feel like that was always the hardest part for me. And then once I have like a bass line, I'm like, okay, I can't build on this. And I can hear like for example, you make a beat and I'm like, yes, this sounds sick. I can hear what sounds good, but then
try and recreate it, or not recreate it, but to try and make something of the same ilk.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. I would always just end up copying the thing. It would never be like my own music, my own composition. It was always just like, okay, clearly this is just this tune taken, and then you've changed like that one instrument, but it's all the same.
Yeah.
Like that I can really relate to your boy who's like, I don't know how you can just know
work out what's
gonna
go, or like I'll do if we're writing something, for example, I'll just sing on the spot and just kind of harmonize with whatever, and usually it's pretty spot on. But it just feels like I don't know. It's just you can kind of predict if a song comes on the radio. I know what the next chord is going to be from the first 3, for example. So I wonder if it is learned to a degree, because you have to listen to enough music, or maybe see my dad go, oh, that's a beautiful chord that's just come in there, or oh, like I always will. There's always things which my dad has said which I will still refer to and stick out. There is a hockey song called Too Fake. I'm just too fake for the world. Anyway, rock song, sick song, did really well, but after the chorus, there's no break. It just goes straight into the verse. And my dad, I always remember my dad picking up on that and being like, that was so cool. And so stuff like that, I'll always try and incorporate. I'll always try and do things which are a little bit non-traditional. And I think that probably goes back to why I didn't resonate so much with music class or grades.
Yeah, and like the theory side of it, because it's so formulaic. There's like, if you follow this kind of pattern, you follow these steps, these rules, and you'll have it's to your point yesterday, where we've had in our Discord, we have quite a few people who send music in, and they're obviously like up and coming artists and stuff. And you're like, oh, you can hear the difference between, like, these days, anybody can make a technically good sounding song, but there's no like, there's no like soul to it. There's no like, I think you said like the songwriting element of it.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between a beat and then an actual song that can like has legs, and there's like a theme behind it. There's like emotion behind it. It's really true.
Emotion is the key word, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Is that it's a feeling. It's a feeling more than anything. You can't explain. I've got really good now at knowing what I've made is good or not, and knowing that this and you can't put your finger on it, other than you could have two beats right next to each other which are almost exactly the same, but one just lacks something, a little bit of color. Maybe it's a little bit of imperfection with the quantizing.
I was going to say,
do you know what I mean? Maybe it's something to give it a more human effect.
Exactly.
Or
I think it's that element of, you can make something where every instrument, every beat, every note is like perfectly in time, perfectly as it should be from a technical perspective, but then it just sounds fake. I don't know, it doesn't sound like a human has made this.
Yeah.
And then even when I've seen you like chopping up little notes and stuff, and you're like, I'm just gonna make this one a little bit shorter. It's gonna cut out a little bit, and the next one's gonna come in like a fraction too early, and that gives it like that. Oh, okay, there's something that pulls me into the song and pulls me into the beat, and then I can feel
it's like a little bit of a groove or a push. Like you won't know this, but for example, a big thing with specifically garage drums, with house drums as well, but specifically garage, because you want the shuffle and the swing. It's a real thing which very successful or like very well renowned or credible garage artists, like a good example is Soul Mass Transit System. They will always make sure that there's a thing called swing and groove, and you can put there's a thing called a groove, and you can put groove onto drums, so you don't change the places of them, but you put a groove into it. So you can put a swing 16 into it, which just gives it this rushing and dragging effect, and it basically gives this like, you know, it's like it'll be like it'll just like open up a bit. There'll be more space between. It will feel like someone's shuffling on it rather than like
rather than it's been made fully like through a like a software. Like, it makes it sound like an instrument, because a human is not going to get it exactly right. A human's gonna, unless you're like a robot. Some people probably are like that, but that's what gives the song the actual element of, like you said, the swing and the groove, and then you can actually like, you find yourself like bobbing your head to a tune, and you find yourself getting like sucked into it. You find yourself getting pulled into the tune more, because there is that like, it's I think, as somebody who has always been very like technically minded, I think that's probably why I found it difficult to make anything or like create anything musically where it felt like a song, and it felt like, oh, this is actually invoking like an emotion in me, as opposed to just being like, right, well, if I'll just put the notes in where they should go, and the song sounds correct.
painted by numbers.
Exactly. It's I'm making a tune by numbers.
Yeah.
And then I think there's like a massive step up from being technically good and making something that maybe is a bit more avant-garde. It breaks the technical rules, but it still sounds good. I think that's like
Definitely.
the difference between
look at artists like art, like the ones who have done super well in the last 100 years are ones who've done something completely different and taken a risk. You have people now who paint like Caravaggio or better, and technically it's amazing. The impasto, like everything, like chiaroscuro, like on point.
I haven't heard chiaroscuro in so long. That's crazy.
But like What I'm trying to say is all the technical tick boxes, they've all been ticked.
Yeah.
But it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's already been done.
Yeah,
You're painting
yeah.
by numbers. You're recreating something. Whereas fucking Tracy Emin, just had her bed. It was just her
Yeah.
bed. My bed. It's one of the
Yeah.
biggest art pieces
Ever.
of the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I think that also translates across the arts, like music, actual like physical like painting and stuff, but then also kind of bringing it more into like the modern age with like social media and content creation. You can, when people are purely just replicating things that they've seen that have seemingly worked, it's like, cool, you maybe will get some success, but the people that actually go the furthest or that get the most fulfillment and build a like cult like following are the ones that go a bit against the grain. They do something not because they think it's going to get views or they think it's going to resonate with they do it because it's what they truly believe, and it's that authenticity, that vulnerability that comes through by doing something a bit left field.
Yeah.
And just trying it, like,
and also doing, because there is this thing of like people will do this left field avant-garde thing, but it doesn't come naturally to them.
yeah.
So then it's like for example, if you, Grade, and I all of a sudden tomorrow we're like, right, we're gonna pivot and it's gonna be bare mysterious. It's gonna be like really like the vocals gonna be so saturated. It's gonna sound like a Young E-Man or Fake Mink track or something like that. It's not gonna come naturally to us.
Yeah, people will be able to hear that.
You know, it's not our sound. It's not what we like.
Yeah.
It's not what we.
It's that like the idea of like what pours out of you naturally, and like you can try, and it's definitely like experiment and go outside your comfort zone and do different things and like push the boat out. But like you always say, like your gut will almost always tell you, and you'll feel whether something you're doing is right or not. I think something that I've learned in the last, I'd say honestly, probably the last like 4 weeks, is since I've started posting more of my own content, I'm trying to find like what it is actually that I enjoy creating the most. I'll have an idea for something and my gut will tell me like, yeah, do this thing. And I always used to try to justify my gut feeling through rationale. Like, okay, my gut's telling me to do this. Can I justify doing this through like logic and reasoning?
Can you give an example?
So for example, when I first started making content like 9 months ago, my gut was telling me to make content, and I then logicked my way into, oh, just make a video a day. Just make a video a day, and it doesn't matter what it is and what you're talking about. And just maybe you saw a video online that did really well. Just copy that, like just for the sake of having something. Like I was very much focused on the output rather than the input. But now when I'm making my videos, it's like I'll be doing some journaling or I'll be on a walk and I'll get a spurt of inspiration, and then that gut of like, I should talk about this, and this is probably going to be a video that is going to come out in the next couple of days. Like,
stay tuned.
I got a comment and I sent it into the group chat of like some guy talking about like, oh, you know, you call yourself Iraqi when you're clearly British. And as soon as that comment came in, I had the gut reaction of, I want to talk about this concept. I want to talk about this idea of like how you fit into a culture and how I should identify myself.
And it's a perfect lead on. Like, you could even put that comment at the beginning.
And so that my gut initially told me like, this is something that you should talk about. And then I felt myself falling back into this pattern of like, oh, but how can I justify making this video? Why should I make this topic? Who is this for? And I think I tend to overthink that a lot. Whereas something I'm trying to take from you and like grade a little bit more is like, your gut tells you to do it. You don't really need to justify that. You can just follow that intuition, follow what it tells you to do.
Exactly.
And then more often than not, whatever my gut has said, I genuinely think like 99.9% of the time, you're in a situation, this is kind of becoming a bit more abstract, but you'll be faced with a decision and your gut will say, do this thing. And the more I've hesitated, the more I've tried to like think my way into it. Either the moment passes and now if I try to do what my gut says, I can't. Or I end up going against what my gut is and it ends up fucking up. And so you have this like now regret for not trusting your gut. And then that over time, you just learn to not trust your own intuition.
Oh, interesting.
And then you have now like, okay, well, my gut is telling me to do this, but I know from previous examples. I
Yeah.
can't trust it, or I shouldn't trust it. So now let me logic my way out of it.
Yeah.
And then you start going spiral.
So this is where that is. Let me explain why that works or why that doesn't work. Is because you have. This is a matter of belief, but this is what I believe to be true, and I think you believe something similar. And anyway, we like if we are souls within a human body, right? I believe that we are our soul within basically like a primitive brain, like a chimp brain, like a survival brain. So that's why when you have an intuition or a gut feeling, I believe it's your higher self telling you this is the path, this is what you need to follow. But more often than not, your monkey brain will go, but am I going to die?
Bro,
am I going to die though?
This is mad. I literally recorded a video, and it's probably going to come out today, and it's called the smoke detector principle.
Right.
And it's all about risk and why we perceive things to be much bigger and much
It's because of
scarier.
it's because of the primitive old stuff.
Yeah, like historically, like as an example, if you smell fire and you do nothing and there isn't fire, you're fine. But if you think you smell fire and you do nothing and there is fire, you're dead. So like our brains will look at any small risk and say fire, because if in the very rare instance that it actually is a big risk and you ignore it, you're gonna die. You'll die out. So your brain that's how we survived for all this time.
It's like what I never know the right way of saying it. Like low risk, high reward, high risk, low reward. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like the stakes are so high.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like even if 100, like 1 out of 1,000,000 times there's gonna be fire, you still take that chance.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas it's only in the negative.
Yeah.
Like if I told you there's like, oh, do this thing, but there's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that you get hit by a car, you'll be like, well, let me reconsider then, because there's actually a chance that I die. But if it's the opposite and it's a positive thing, it's like, yeah, but there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that you're successful. You're like, it's not really that good odds for success. Like I'm more likely to fail here, so let me not do it. So in both cases, when the risk and the reward are equally like unlikely, you're less likely to take the gamble. Whereas realistically, and I in the video I use an example of like you're going for a job interview. If you get the job, amazing. And if you don't get the job, you're in the same position you are. If you post a video online and it goes viral, amazing. If it doesn't,
you're back in the same position.
You're in the exact same position.
It's the same as taking risks and like leaving a job that you hate to do what you love.
But that is a different risk, because that's like you're actually sacrificing something, like this idea of stability or like a steady paycheck and like all of these different things that give you safety to then go and take a big risk, which is why...
No, but my point is so say for example you're in a job and you get to a position where you saved enough money to go and do your thing. You then leave, like my friend just did it. You then leave that job. That job's still going to be there in a year's time when this doesn't work, or if this doesn't work.
Yeah, I see your point.
You know what I mean?
Point. Yeah. But that's why like people take... Like when I quit my job, so many people were like, oh man, I wish I could do that. I wish, like, I was speaking to my boys and
so
they're
you
like,
can.
and they're literally like, oh man, I wish I could do that. And I'm like, bro, you think that I'm in like some sort of crazy different position to you? Like I also had all of the same concerns and reservations about taking a step to do a completely different path. And it's like, yeah, but I couldn't. It's like, well, literally there's nothing stopping you. The only thing that's stopping you is your perception of risk and reward.
Yeah. This fear of like, am I going to be okay?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's like I told you this recently, but apparently the reason that a lot of people are scared to talk to women, or why like a good example is like the cave divers. They can't, like he was talking about how he can't really like, he's not very good with women, he can't really talk to women, but he's fucking navigating these tiny little holes in a cave. It shows that he's not a fearful person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just shows this one indicator. Apparently the reason that you get scared going over and talking to women who you think are attractive is because you are scared that their mates, like back in primitive times, you're scared that their mates will see you as a threat and you'll get killed.
Oh, okay.
By the men in that tribe. So if it's an unfamiliar woman in a new tribe and there's loads of men around, you're scared of talking to her because you think you're going to get killed.
Yeah, there's like the perceived threat of it all. Whereas actually, like...
You're not going to die.
Yeah,
no one's going to die when you talk to this lady.
Yeah. Which is, it's so it does come back to this, like, our reptile brains really do get in the way of so many decisions that we make.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so many people live in fear. It's all fear-based decisions.
yeah. It's like,
I almost just
yeah,
ate
you
that.
drank your, yeah. Yeah, it comes out from, like you say, making a decision from a position of scarcity and like fearfulness, and
rather than abundance.
it's like using your example of, I don't know, somebody who's a bit socially awkward. They maybe will see themselves as a bit of an introvert, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, like let me muster up the courage to go and talk to this person. It becomes such a big deal for them. They put so much pressure on this interaction that they'll either psych themselves out of doing it because they'll say, oh my god, it's such a big deal, or if they do it and it fails, they're like, see, I took all that courage and it still didn't work. But when you lower that, like, most things in life aren't that deep, like, unless it's a life or death decision, you can probably just make a choice. It's like the famous quote, like,
will any of this matter in 5 years
yeah,
time?
exactly. It's like, bro, will any of this matter in like two weeks? In some cases, will this matter tomorrow?
Does this even matter now?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I remember, I'm not gonna name any names. I was at cafe local here.
Cafe Beep.
Yeah.
At local Beep.
Yeah, exactly. with Mr. Beep, and he's quite an introverted guy. He views himself like, he has a very negative way of talking about himself. He always will say things like, I'm not confident, I can't do that, I'm not the type of person to do X.
Yeah.
And a girl enters the place that we're in, and he looks at her and she looks at him. They make eye contact for genuinely like 5 seconds as she's walking past. They're just right, and then she walks off and goes and joins her friends.
Like movie shit.
Yeah, and this is literally after he's like, I really struggle to go out of my comfort zone and make conversations with people. And I was like, brother, like,
go and talk to her.
This is like an opportunity. Like,
also, those things don't happen by chance.
I was like, call it fate.
Exactly.
Call it destiny.
Exactly.
But like, we're literally talking about it in real time, and now you've like, this has happened in front of you. And I was like, bro, just go. And he's like, no, man. Like,
did he not?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
I was like, bro, like, she's with her. He's like, yeah, but she's with her friends. I don't want to like, I don't want to. He's like, he's overthinking it so much.
Do you know, like, if he had gone over and not, I mean, it's easier said than done, but if you go over and not overthink it and you talk to her in front of 5 other girls, that is baller move. She's gonna straight away dig you.
Yeah, and even if she says, no, thank you, I'm not interested, you have the idea, you have that like evidence to yourself now that I'm able to do these things, I'm able to overcome it. And then as we were leaving the place, I was like, bruv, come with me. So I literally walked over and I went, excuse me, my friend. And then I was like, cool. And then he was just there like, why have you done this? I could see it in his head, and he was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. They spoke for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, cool, we need to go. And he's like, oh, do you mind if I get your Instagram? And she was like, oh, no, thank you. Like, it was great talking to you, though. And then we walked off, and he was like, see, bro, it didn't work out. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but you tried. It's like practice.
You did it. Like, you did the thing. You got an outcome. Now you're not going to be wondering. Because I know him. We would have left this place, and then 2 weeks from now, he'd have been like,
what about that girl?
What if I did that?
Let's go to local bleep and we'll hopefully see her.
And it's like, man, this is such a clear example of just getting out of your own way. Stopping, following your intuition. Obviously not doing anything illegal or mental, but like...
Yeah, if your intuition is telling you that, you should go see someone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my intuition said I should kill him. I should stab him in the eyes. But then, so maybe don't...
You have schizophrenia, sir.
So maybe don't do that. But I think in general, like, your gut is something that I don't know if it's like, how do I say this? I don't know if it's the type of people that we are, or like that I am rather. Maybe the environment I've grown up in, but more often than not, I feel like I haven't really been encouraged to follow my gut instinct. And it's always been, you know, when somebody asks you when you're younger, like, what do you want to do? And that's obviously quite a big question. My gut was always like, probably like something in sports or something creative or something where I can interact with people. And that's what I wanted to say. That was like kind of what I felt latent in somewhere in the back of my mind. But then it always like being surrounded by everybody who's doing like going into medicine or finance or whatever. It's like, I'll just do that. And over time, it kind of just gets beaten out of you. Like, just forget about this little voice that you've got in the back of your head telling you to do something. Follow the path that you know is going to be safe and secure.
This is how the whole world is structured, bro. We humans are more powerful than we are led to believe. We have been hidden, like there's been hidden truth about our full capabilities, and you only can learn that through very particular things. Like for me, that's happened because of trauma, but it's led me to an amazing place. Like I was always a very intuitive person growing up, and I think my mum made sure I always listened to that and did what I wanted to do. So I never kind of let it too much, like the system kind of overrun me, if that makes sense. But the whole world, this is exactly how it's built. It's built so that you go to school and you fit into a system, you wear your uniform, you have to ask to go to the toilet, you work from this time to this time, you work hard, you do like all of these things. They're just priming you for being at work and for you being an adult and making your own decisions, yet still asking next man if I can go to the toilet during a meeting.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. It's true. We just become like adult infants, where instead of it being a teacher, it becomes a boss.
Yeah.
And then instead of it becoming a boss, it becomes a shareholder, and it becomes an investor, and you're always beholden to somebody else, ultimately, unless you take the risk of detaching yourself fully from the system and just doing your own thing. And you may or may not get where you want to go, but I truly believe that if you just follow that,
the best will happen for you.
Exactly. Like
that's exactly what it is, bro. It might not look like the path right now, but it's the path of least resistance is where you should go, really.
Yeah.
Follow what makes you happy, your intuition, your gut feeling, path of least resistance. If something is not working, if it's like butting heads and there's so much friction, you can't get anywhere with it, it's not right.
Yeah.
People hang on to these relationships for so long, for example, and then something I was going to say is, and makes you realize this sort of system and the fact that we kind of go just from school to another school is, do you remember, I remember when I finished upper sixth, finished college, and that feeling of, oh my God, I don't have any more work to do. The work's done. I've got no homework, got no coursework. The things are done. And then got a job, straight back into it. 9 to 5, more work for the rest of my life. It says it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like the other balance is just, unfortunately, you have to make money some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think we've not been given the freedom to learn that making money isn't being beholden to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something I truly believe now is I would much rather earn way less money, but be able to do it on my terms. And I would more readily sacrifice quality of life in terms of like the type of flat I'm staying in, or like, I don't know, the places I'm going, like for dinner, or like where I'm going out on a night out if I do end up stepping out, like
Goms.
Yeah, like the clothes I wear. I'd much rather sacrifice a certain quality of that, but then be able to go down a specific path that I want to do, and then at least I can look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, on my deathbed and go, yeah, like, cool. Yeah, that time was pretty tough. And I wasn't making much money, but I was trying to do my own thing.
And I was enjoying it.
Exactly.
Like, you're doing things on your terms.
It gets to a point where you'll look back on things and go like, no, like it's the classic thing, like nobody is on their deathbed going like, I'm so happy that I really missed all of these like key life moments because I was at work.
You know, that's the number one regret on the deathbed.
What, missing out on life?
I work too much. That's the number one. They did, like, I don't know how the fuck they did this study, but
just like, maybe just before you go.
You got any dying grandparents or anything?
Just before you go, mate. Just 1 second. Can you just answer this question?
He works for the camera.
Yeah, just like, I wish I didn't.
I wish I didn't work.
That's such a sad regret. Like, I worked too hard, because you have like kind of some people who live to work, and it feels like it's just part of them. But I believe that it's ingrained in you that you should work this hard, and like some people actually just they value like I want to get to the top of my field in this space. I want to become like the best businessman in the world.
You've got to think, mate, that people aren't wired like us. So
Yeah.
more often than not, like people are, like you look at these people who end up becoming CEOs of companies, it's because they are wired totally differently.
Yeah.
It's because they are ego driven rather than like I don't know.
Happiness driven.
Yeah,
like,
just like, and it's more about perception and how
Yeah.
they look rather than how they feel.
yeah.
Elon Musk, and we've already said this on a podcast before, but he's hit $1 trillion, and he just says that he put out a tweet which said that money really can't buy happiness.
Yeah, and you're like, brother, of
like-
course not.
Fucking mental.
I think the most important thing is like whatever you're doing, you need to have like a quest. You need to have like a purpose beyond like whatever that is. That's where people feel aimless, and I think that's where like our generation, like younger, they're gonna start feeling this like existential crisis that most people would experience. It's like a midlife crisis. It would be something that you experience at like, I don't know, mid to late 30s, probably 40s. Then
Yeah.
you see the guy like buy the sports car and get divorced and like completely crash out in his life. We're starting to see that happen, but with people who are like in their early 20s,
Yeah.
who are like fresh out of uni or like 1 year, 2 years into work, and they're like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
It's because there's
I failed.
Yeah, there's no purpose beyond just like the ticking the boxes of what it means to be a functioning member of this society.
Yeah.
Whereas when you actually are pursuing something greater, like even if it's something basic, like I just want to, you know, my purpose, I want to become a janitor. I want to be the best janitor I can. Like that's a noble profession. And if that's genuinely what you feel driven towards, you will be fulfilled
Yeah.
by achieving that goal.
Yeah.
And somebody next to you will be like, I can't understand how this person is happy. Like they clean toilets all day. But they're like, bro, this is like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, I like this. It gives me that drive. And because we see on social media now, it's always comparison and like people will hate on you for making an honest living, doing something that they look down on. That's where people are like, well, I can't do that. That can't be my purpose. And maybe their intuition is telling them that they just want to become a barista and that would fulfill them.
Yeah.
But they couldn't possibly
No.
just be a barista.
No. Yeah.
I need to be a
'Cause
barista.
What would people think?
Exactly.
What would society think?
Exactly. I need to be a barista who also does this and also does
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I need to, and like let me try to. And it's like, okay, you don't have to like people end up having to justify the way that they live
Yeah.
to strangers.
Yeah.
You're like, brother, none of that.
Even we can become victims of that every now and then.
100%.
Like we feel like even though we're our own bosses and we love what we're doing and we're doing great work, like we still will feel guilty in ourselves if we haven't put enough work in that day or whatever. And it's like, it's just interesting that we have those hang-ups still.
Yeah. It's you end up getting. No matter what, you'll end up getting into your own head. But I think it's much easier to get out of that when you look at it, when you look at life as like a journey of exploration and risk taking and pursuing things for the love of the game. And if it works out, amazing.
Love
And
of
if
the
it
game.
if it doesn't work out, cool. At least you tried something.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something that genuinely I made a video about it. Like one of my genuine biggest fears is looking back on my life and thinking like I was complacent. I didn't like go after the things that I actually wanted. I instead went after the things that I at the time knew would make me quote unquote successful, would give me stability, as opposed to actually pursuing
What is actually
something
fulfilling.
that I was like, okay, this
What
is
do I
something
want to do long
Yeah,
term?
this is what I want to
What do I
do.
want my life to look like?
Yeah, this is what I
basically?
want to do, and so I'm
Yeah.
going to do it regardless of what people are going to say or, you know, how my life might turn out. It's definitely worth to just take this swing, especially when the asymmetric upside is so massive. Like, it's basically like unlimited lottery tickets, and instead of scratching them, you're not going to scratch them because somebody's going to judge you for it. You're like, well, I may as well just fucking do it. Forget all the noise. Like, this person could be dead tomorrow. I could be dead tomorrow. Like, none of this really matters.
Yeah.
Let's just have fun while we can.
Yeah. 100%. Oh, we need to do the
Yes.
numbers.
Okay.
I'll let you go.
No, you won last time. So you
I
can
won
do it.
last time.
Yeah.
All right. So who does? So they can win as well, can't they?
Yeah. Let me.
Okay.
Where is it?
I don't think this is going to be very good.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a new one. I'm gonna do it randomly. You guys can be Dr. Wilson.
Who is it?
Dr. Wilson.
Oh, Dr. Wilson.
Yeah.
I once. I once saw Dr. Wilson, like in the office with Kevin with the chili, drop a whole big, massive pot of spaghetti bolognese.
Really? Why did he have that?
We were on D&E and
Oh,
we
nice.
just made bolognese for like 40 people. He picked it up and then stumbled and went over the floor. And I remember I told that story to someone in the LRC, and then I realised he walked round and he'd been standing behind me. I was like, sorry, Dr. Wilson.
Sorry, man. Sorry,
He was sound as well. All right, creativity 22.
Well, obviously you win. Wilson, creativity 12. Henderson, creativity 16.
Curtain. Beautiful.
That's 2 in a row. Fuck.